everyone, it's Elatta here. Really nice to be with you. Thanks for the invitation. I'm really excited to talk to you about how would you accelerate your business agility journey by measuring what matters. We're going to talk about what is business agility, what does the journey look like, what are some of the common patterns and challenges that we've been seeing, and then obviously what are the right measurements to think about as you try to accelerate this journey. First, I guess we'll start with a little bit of an introduction. Who am I? I am the founder and the CEO of Agility Health. We started the company and it was called Agile Transformation about 11 years ago. Very passionate about enterprise level business agility and digital transformations. I really do believe in measurement and continuous improvement and leadership agility. Those are the keys to the success. I'm a mother, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an activist. I'm originally from Sudan in Africa, so some of you might know that I've started my own nonprofit organization called Sudan Next Gen, and I have published many videos on agilevideos.com to help scale talent development and learn Agile quickly. So excited to be here with you and to talk about this topic that's very dear to my heart. Let's start with the definition. What is business agility? Many times when I ask people, what does business agility mean to you? They use words like speed, like ability to pivot, ability to learn, react to the market, stay competitive. So I really took a combination of these words that came from a lot of these kind of workshops, and we put together this definition, and it's jointly really created by myself and Evan Laybourne with the combination of all the people that provided the feedback. And business agility is really the ability to adapt to change, learn and pivot, deliver at speed, and thrive in a competitive market. Because gone are the days where large companies can eat small. Today, small companies that are fast can eat the slow. So today, really, your ability to outlearn your competition is your main competitive advantage. I want to share a small video here with you. It's about 5 minutes that will share with you some of the challenges and some of the new patterns that we're seeing in business agility, and then we'll come back again. Hi, I'm Sally Elatta, founder of Agility Health. And here at Agility Health, we are very passionate about accelerating our customers' enterprise business agility journey by helping them measure what matters. As we've worked with many customers, we're starting to see some common challenges and common patterns and solutions. So what I wanted to do is just draw this picture for you. Let's call this demand and capacity. Let's look at it from this perspective. On the demand side, the first challenge you're going to hear from customers and enterprises is enterprise planning is painful. There is too much focus on work and output, so you'll see lots of initiatives, deliverables, epic stories, but not a lot of focus on outcomes. You'll also see that there's many competing business priorities that are coming in through silos, and everybody feels like their priority is number one. Another challenge is there's no discovery or validation of the ideas, and there's a lot of idea generators, multiple people with lots of great ideas. The problem that this causes is many of these ideas are actually duplicate. So you could have Joe and Adam and Jamie over here all asking for the same thing, but in different ways. As you go down through this funnel, you're going to realize that teams are not designed to optimize the flow of value. Teams today are all organized based on who reports to who. And so in order for you to get anything done, there's a lot of bottlenecks, there's a lot of shared service teams that are really over capacity, and there's a lot of handoffs and dependencies between them. As you come closer to the actual teams that get the work done, what you're going to see is they're overwhelmed. Teams are burning out. They will tell you they are buried in never-ending backlogs. The good news is by using Agile, we've started to organize our work a little bit better. So we have backlogs and we have cadences and we plan well, but it's still never ending. Teams have no time to be creative or to solve problems the right way. Like, remember those 3 different features that we're all asking for the same thing? Nobody has time to focus on that. So this is a summary of some of the problems that we're seeing. And one of my quotes here that customers like is, if you want flow, stop the flooding. So let's take a look at this picture in a different way. How could we redraw this? Again, let's look at demand, discovery, and then let's flow outcomes. So this funnel looks a little bit different in that at the beginning, I want to create portfolio teams. This is a missing gap that we have today. We built teams and we built teams of teams, but we have not yet structured portfolio management teams that could really organize the work at the very top of the funnel. Portfolio teams really should be planning based on outcomes. What are my 3-year outcomes? What are my 1-year outcomes? And what are my quarterly outcomes? Those 1-year outcomes will map to your initiatives and your epics, and those quarterly outcomes will map to your deliverables or your features. Make sure that these outcomes, as they come into this funnel, are going through discovery. The purpose of discovery is to validate your ideas before you invest a lot in actually delivering them. Are these ideas valuable? Are they feasible? Are they usable? Another way to think about the value of discovery is, can we test something? We call it test it, nail it, before we scale it. Test it, nail it, scale it. Some cool techniques for doing discovery would be following the Mobius loop by doing discovery and then delivery, or even leveraging things like the 5-day sprint, or just building some fun mock-ups and showing them to customers quickly and getting very rapid feedback so that you can begin to experiment before you actually build. Now let's come into the teams. How do I want to organize and design my teams? I want to organize my teams so they can flow outcomes. So whether they're business teams or technology teams, whether they're product or engineering teams, and regardless of their reporting structure, we want to organize teams together in a virtual way so they can enable the flow of outcomes. To support this system that is designed to flow outcomes, at the very top, we need leadership agility. We need to shift from the very directive style that we have today into more of enabling autonomy and delegating decisions down. We need to also invest in developing talent, because through this journey, you're going to see there's a lot of new roles that are going to be created, and a lot of roles that are today will need to shift, including the role of leaders. So developing talent and investing in growing our skills is another critical enabler. And when you enable the flow of outcomes across your enterprise, you will arrive at true business agility, where you are disrupting before you are disrupted. You become a learning organization and you can thrive in a competitive market. Thank you for watching.
So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope that you got some nuggets on some of the patterns that we're starting to see. One of them that we talked about in the video is outcome-based planning, moving to outcome-based instead of output, using OKRs, any method that will help you identify what's the objective that we're trying to achieve and what are the key results. How do we know that we're actually delivering value? Hopefully you've also saw the test it, nail it before you scale it, which is really about starting to do discovery before we do delivery. Organizing teams the right way and organizing around the flow of value, but not in terms of who reports to who. We can still keep our hierarchy structure, but we really want to organize team differently. Leadership agility was in there. So as you can tell, business agility, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of changes that need to happen in terms of how we work today. So the main question that comes to everybody's mind, well, is this even valuable? What benefit would I get from business agility? I want to draw your attention to the Business Agility Report by the BAI Institute. You can download it from this link over here. And it really shows that there's definitely increase in operational efficiency. There's increase in revenue share and market share and brand recognition. Why? Because you're really being centered around your customer. There's improved customer relationships. There's greater transparency and higher engagement and employee satisfaction. I would say the biggest reason for that is because people start to really understand the value, the why behind what they're getting done. Instead of organizing work, projects and initiatives and handing them down to the teams, they are now understanding the outcomes that they're trying to accomplish, and quite frankly, they're being empowered to come up with creative solutions to solve these problems. Obviously, in addition to the basic agility value statements, which is faster turnaround, higher quality, and safer products. So it's a journey. right? All these things we just talked about, they're not going to happen between night and day, and it's not a 6-month transformation. It's really a multi-year journey. And I would even say that, digital transformation enables business agility, but let's not get confused. Agile, Scrum, Safe, digital, all of these are not the end goal. They are the means to the end goal. The real end goal is business agility. We want to be competitive. We want to thrive. We want to learn and pivot. We want to have that flexibility internally. So the journey, what does the journey look like? Well, it starts with team agility. As you saw, we have to invest in teams. We need to know if our teams are healthy or not. This is when we usually have them adopt agile methods. We make sure that they have the right tools, the right technologies, the right software available for them, and that they are able to co-locate, work together, or work virtually, obviously, in an effective fashion. So to build strong and to build team agility, we recommend measuring the health of your teams across all of them, building very intentional growth plans for where they need to improve, developing talent, really focusing on the roles of the Scrum Master, the product owner, and also enabling self-learning. There will never be enough Agile coaches to coach hundreds of teams. So we really say hyper-focus on self-learning, self-growth. Teams identify where they have problems, they identify where is it that they want to improve, and they learn through resources, through videos, through growth portals in terms of how are they going to actually improve. The next step is team of team agility. So we've been able to figure out how to get one team to operate well or two teams. How do we get several teams to work together in a program, in a product line, in a train, whatever you call that second level, which is many teams, probably 5 to 8 to 10 teams working together to deliver on a common goal. And this is where scaling methods become very popular. How are you going to plan at scale? How are you going to eliminate dependencies, not just manage them? How are you going to make sure that all those teams are aligned to valuable outcomes? DevOps also becomes extremely important here. Technical excellence, continuous integration, a lot of those technical practices really become important at scale. And then, of course, the role of managers, leaders, beginning to shift them again to leadership agility and away from the traditional command and control. The next step here, and when I say next, by the way, these are actually, you'll even see it on our website, these are really wheels that turn, because it's not like a step-by-step. I don't want you to get the impression that this is a phased approach. You honestly really need to work on all of these anchors, so that all of these dials, so that you can actually achieve business agility. But organizational agility becomes the next priority, which is portfolio management, planning around outcomes, beginning to plan quarterly, not just yearly, shifting your funding models to more agile and modern funding models. Value stream structure. So people love the word value stream, some people hate it because it's overused. What we're talking about here is regardless of your physical hierarchical structure, who reports to who, we want to organize your teams around what are all of the teams that I need to bring together to deliver on an outcome, to deliver value. So that's really what we mean here. And then lean product maturity is about discovery, design thinking, journey maps, personas, but not just having one unit of the company do that and then hand it out to the teams, building some of these skills within the teams, within the team of team areas themselves. Next comes the journey for operational agility, and this is really where we want customer seat at the table, the customer's voice to be front and center at every level of the organization. Sales, marketing, HR, audit, legal, finance, all of them come to the journey. And we actually really know that we've arrived at business agility, and I'll move my little image over here, when you can anticipate your customers' needs, when you can disrupt before being disrupted, and when continuous improvement, relentless improvement becomes part of your DNA. This is no longer a transformation. This is just who you are. This is what you do. You become a learning organization. So what do you assess at every level of the organization now that we talked about this journey? At the team level, we like to use the team health radar. It basically assesses the clarity. Does the team have clarity on what they're trying to get done? Do they know how to perform? Are there actual metrics? Do they have the right leadership? Do they have the right culture? We call it that layer below the surface. And do they have the right foundation for agility? At the team of team level, you might want to measure things such as DevOps maturity or lean product management, lean product discovery. At the enterprise level, there's a couple of things. Sometimes we use the business agility, maturity assessment, or the lean portfolio management, or even the digital. This is a new assessment that we have, which is the digital transformation. How well have we invested and how well have we matured in terms of our digital transformation? And then, of course, last but not least, is the talent development at the individual level. Really having a plan for which roles am I trying to develop right now, and what does the definition of good look like. To be honest with you, all of these radars really are just meant to give you a visual of what does good look like? What is the definition of success? What is our maturity model? If your definition of DevOps and my definition and the other person's definition is different, then how are we all supposed to systematically adopt it and become mature in it? So really pause as an organization and decide, what does good look like, and what are we going to start measuring, and how will we use that to improve? One of the biggest challenges that we've seen from measurement is just that clarity and alignment. What does good look like? And then actually making time to measure, pausing every quarter, every 3 months or so, and saying, I really do want to measure. So those are what we call strategic retrospectives. We definitely recommend moving away from just surveys, because surveys have just created so much survey fatigue, and moving towards facilitated retrospectives. And then, most importantly, is really making time for intentional growth. Now that you've identified the challenges, you know where you want to grow, giving teams the time to grow, making this measure and grow continuous improvement program just part of the DNA of your organization. The most important message that I have for you today is never use these measurements to punish or reward or judge a team or their management team. If you ever do that, you will never see the truth again. Teams know how to game any metric. So as long as these measurements, whether they're qualitative or quantitative, are used to help the teams grow and your organization to grow, then that will be successful. The moment that you start using them for punishment, you'll never see the truth again. There are 3 different metrics, and we've already talked about them, that are really important. And I really hope if there's one thing you get out of the seminar, it's really truly that, which is we need to think about maturity assessments in addition to performance. So maturity, a lot of what we do within Agility Health is use the radars to gather how mature are we? Are we crawl, walk, run, or fly? But there's also performance. Performance are quantitative data. Those are the actual, how are we really getting work done? Is it faster? Is it better? And then there is outcomes. Outcomes are the OKRs. Those are the results, the business results that we are achieving. Some people that I talk to, and some transformation leaders, focus so much on performance. They only focus on output metrics because that is what their platforms and their ALMs give them. We really believe that to accelerate this journey, you need all 3. You need to look at all of those 3 together. I wanted to sort of end by giving you some samples of what organizations have been able to achieve. So this is an example of an organization that's really invested in measuring the maturity and the performance of their teams. You can see here that across 643 teams, they were able to mature by 17% within the year. And I know that maybe the number 17 doesn't seem high, but it's really high because it's 643 teams. Some of these teams matured by 20 to 30%, and others were lower. What you'll also notice is in terms of the performance, which is the quantitative metrics, they improved by 5%. This is something that we've seen a lot, which is you really have to invest in maturity first, and then you will begin to see performance. So they really think about performance as more of a lagging indicator, and maturity is a leading indicator. And when you think about it, what is the ROI of 600 teams all improving by 10 or 20%? That's tremendous when you think about the cost of 600 teams. To do this and to be able to grow, I also took a screenshot here because I think this is really important. Teams actually had to work on improvement items. They really organized themselves. They really categorized, and it's really interesting that many of these are leadership or cultural related, but they really identified where is it that we need to improve as a team. But what you also see here is that organizational leaders and managers also invested. So they were able to complete 274 growth items at that level, which means that continuous improvement really requires a commitment from your teams and from your leadership to remove obstacles. I really hope you enjoyed this short seminar on how would you accelerate your business agility journey by measuring what matters. If you are new to Agile and you're intrigued and you want to learn more about Agile, we welcome you to join agilevideos.com. There's this promo code that we added here for you. And if you want to learn more about Agility Health, obviously visit our website and request a demo, and we're really happy to connect with you. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your summer.